guy. I don't have the author name, but you just need the name of the book. Spiritual Text of Ancient Egypt. And he reenacted this picture from the Temple of Seti I on the temple walls. A couple of books has it. Rumble Melchizedek book has it. But, and Christopher Dunn. But this book, Spiritual Technology from Ancient Egypt, is a book that you need to get, because what happened was there's this fight that's going on in the white community. The white community, just like we have certain things, you had, Marcus Garvey versus W.E.B. Du Bois, W.E.B. Du Bois versus Booker T. Washington. You got these families, Malcolm versus Martin. Well, white folks have the same type of thing. They had Swallow Lubitz was the one that went into Egypt and said, hey, this shit ain't about no burials and burials of Pharaoh. This is high advanced science. So the French government, they don't never want the people to know that the ancient Camites was into the most advanced science on the planet, because the whole key to let you think that this civilization is the greatest of all is that they're the ones supposed to always come up with something. And they will come and dig in our papyruses and dig in our ancient texts and find some stuff out of 100 years before, and will wait 100 years until they find out a way to figure out the scientific way that they can give it to you in their methodology. But have had this stuff 100 years before. But say, hold off on that until we learn how to do it with our modern science and whatever we deal with to make it ours. We'll hold off on this particular science. But they've had our stuff in papyruses for those hundreds of years. So Swallow Lubitz explained in his book, The Temple of Man, Sacred Science, Wisdom of the Temple, Esoteric Symbol, The Symbol and Symbolic, R.A. Swallow Lubitz. What he explained was they were the most advanced scientists on the planet. And so as a result, the French government called him a crackpot. So they sent out a guy, and his job was to discredit R.A. Swallow Lubitz. So they had these fights in the newspapers in the 40s and in the 50s. So that this guy, whatever this guy's name was, to discredit him. But what happened was the guy got in a car wreck and died. And so therefore, R.A. Swallow Lubitz stuff got out to the main public and was legitimized. But to this day, a lot of scientists don't want to give him credit, and as a result, there's a whole intelligentsia group started from his son-in-law, John Anthony West. Got a whole 10-tape series out called Magical Egypt. But John Anthony West has a whole intelligentsia group that is going against the scientists and saying, no, this stuff from Kemet and this stuff is all spiritual, because that leads back to African spirituality. So now they got a whole, so one of the guys that come out with a book is called The Science of the Dogon. What's that guy's name? The Science of the Dogon. Laird Scranton. He got a new one out now on the Dogon and hieroglyphics, and showing that the whole meta thing and the Dogon thing, the linguistics and how that all ties in. That's his new book, Laird Scranton, but he got the first book, Science of the Dogon. But he's one of these guys that's on the Lubitz side, headed up under John Anthony West, which is Swallow Lubitz's son-in-law. So as a result, this other guy, I think is David Wasowski, but don't worry, you just need the name of the book. It's called Spiritual Technology of Ancient Egypt. And in his book, he decided, hey, these white folks want to argue. So what I'm going to do to make the argument to kick them in the ass is I'm going to use the work that's already been done for us by the Afrocentric scholars. So what the white boy did was, he said, well, hell, the Afrocentric scholars already kicked him in the butt 10, 15, 20 years ago. So he started, so he put George G.M. James in his new book. See what I'm saying? Then he put Gerald Massey, which is the British scholar that white folks said persona non grata. Only black people use Gerald Massey. You see. And so then he put Martin Bernard, Black Athena, in his book. And then he said, well, when y'all fish around with that, I'm going to come out with the real TNT shit on your ass. So if you don't dig that, he said, I got a nigga that you're going to have to run from. So he throws down with Sheikh Anta Diop, which means it's irrefutable. Sheikh Anta Diop puts the screws in the nigga ass and he can't run nowhere. So this white boy is using Sheikh Anta Diop in the book. Then it's called Spiritual Technology Egypt. And then at the end of the book, he puts this page back, resurrects this page of spaceships, helicopters, boats, and all kind of futuristic cars. That means we're going to have shit look like that. You see what I'm saying? If we ain't already had it. I told a nigga back in 1990, I want to go back to Egypt with a boom box. See how they like, they said they might pull out their boom box on your ass. Nothing new under the sun, only that which has been forgotten. You see what I'm saying? You know, so the brother told us, so we know it's taboo. It's taboo for an older race of Rastas to go down to the Y. And you know what I'm talking about. Licking on that clit. Oh, we don't do that, man. You think it's a white boy shit and you don't know knowledge. The East Indians got the Kama Sutra, but it comes from tantric cults of pre-dynastic Egypt. And show how stuff go around. The British colonized the East Indians, and they get the Kama Sutra. Now they've already traced this back to the tantric thing back to pre-dynastic Egypt. And in the Kama Sutra, you see what I'm saying? They see oral sex in the Kama Sutra. So the Europeans start doing the oral sex following the Kama Sutra from the 1800s, especially the British. It goes across the water to America, and the white folks there got a new style. It catch on, and when we look at it, we say, oh, that's some white boy stuff. No, that's some black man shit that you forgot. All your nutrition comes from that. See what I'm saying? I don't eat no pussy. Wait, you will eat pig guts. No, wait a minute, come on. We got niggas eat pig guts. Pig ass. Pig ass. And you eat a hot dog, you might be eating pig pussy. You can't lick on your wife's, your girlfriend. Look, it's real simple. Let me explain the mechanism, how powerful this shit is. I showed you this yesterday. We have to keep going back to this because ultimately it's all about this. Like I said, there's your labia. For people don't know, that's your lips or the vagina. There's the clitoris. There's the tunnel. There's the G-spot. See what I'm saying? There's the G-spot. Now, I don't even want to even try to research what that is down at the bottom. I'm not really, there's only a minute that I can go to.
I'll do that.
Yeah, try to, yeah. We'll put you on that assignment. Let them run your ass out. Because I know a nigga now. They're talking about licking booty holes. You know, so I'm not going there with it. But, nevertheless, let me explain this to you. What goes on? What goes on? The vagina is an intelligence. So when you grow hair down near the vagina, or the pubic hair, the intelligence says, we will send all toxins and stuff and clean out so that the hair can catch it. You see, so that's the pair of underwear for the vagina. That's why you don't need to wear underwear. Now, when you shave the vagina, the intelligence says, well, we don't need to send the toxins and the clean out stuff that causes the odor in the hair. We don't need to send that anymore so we can bring it out through the pores. It's a whole mechanism, whole ecological system. Whole ecological system. And then there is absolutely positively no smell. You see what I'm saying? After a couple of weeks, none of that. Because it sends a message, well, the hair is not down here now to trap that, so therefore we'll send all the stuff out through the pores, the anus, or what have you. So there's absolutely positively no smell. You see what I'm saying? No smell. Then it says, well, it is meant now for nutrients for healing. See what I'm saying? So that's the thing about knowledge. Knowledge, if I came in here and gave you some stuff to validate what you already know, I have fail to give you knowledge. Knowledge is not based on what you know. Knowledge is supposed to be something, when it's new, it's supposed to be strange and ridiculous until you work your mind around it, or you have to come to it. You understand where I'm coming from here? Mm-hmm. So knowledge is supposed to be strange. You see what I'm saying? It's supposed to be strange. So the master this thing. When you shave it, if the brother's worried about the smell, it's a whole mechanism. When you shave it, it sends a signal to the vagina. Well, there's no more hair down here to catch those toxins or what have you when you clean out. And so therefore, what happens is it starts sending other vaginal fluids. You see what I'm saying? This thing is so advanced. It's so advanced until the doctors in America and even in Europe admitted in 2003, we absolutely don't know nothing about the female reproductive system and the female womb. It will take us another 100 years just to even get close to it. That's how much a vast mystery it is. You see what I'm saying? You see, so my point here is, when you are colonized on oppressed people, you become the most conservative people. You see what I'm saying? And you will say, oh, that's nasty. Nasty is based on your perspective of what's nasty. What's that, brother?
Do you know about starfire?
Yeah. That's just Kundalini energy.
Can you enlighten us a bit more on that?
Yeah, I will. That's just Kundalini energy.
And I'd like to say, I respect what you're saying because obviously it was a multitude thing, but I have a theory on the fact that the man and the woman, a woman has no break. You know that a man has a break point between, obviously he has a penis and he's got his anus. A woman has no breaking point. I mean, a woman has no barrier between the two, so both fluids get exchanged. And that's why it's more taboo, I think, in London.
As well, that's just it though. You're looking for, see, this is where things break down when we look at science. Because when it comes to Western civilization, they always teach you the science based on a physiological attribute. There's a metaphysical attribute that there is a breaking in the metaphysical attribute. And what I just explained a few minutes ago proves that. When they shave, you see what I'm saying? Something else occurs. It's no different than any other type of exercise you will do to get a certain result from the body. But the point I'm trying to say here is what the European don't understand, and now the Western person, I don't want to put it all on the European. This thing is everybody is ignorant. What they don't understand these days, because we've lost so much variations of knowledge, and that didn't come from the European. That came from years of us just going to sleep. But the point what we don't understand here, there's a whole spiritual aspect of that. And a lot of times we try to take into account what is the physiological aspect, but we don't understand there's a whole other dimension. In the book of the law, they say that the temple has burnt down, but there's an invisible temple. Give me an example. For example, people get their leg cut off, and the mama coming in, she got diabetes, she get both legs cut off, and she'll come up in the house one night in the wheelchair, and the daughter come in, and she say, my legs, my feet, my toes is itching. They call it phantom pain. You see what I'm saying? But what they don't realize here is, for every physical aspect, there's an astral aspect, or etheric aspect, and that is reality. So even when you see an aura around a person, that's coming from the astral body. So therefore, you might cut off the physical aspect. Doesn't necessarily mean that the intelligence and the feelings and everything is not in the astral body. So a lot of times, so you can't never say the end of something based on the physiological point of view, because that's what metaphysics is. We're teaching that there's stuff way beyond that. You see what I'm saying? We're teaching this stuff way beyond that. And that's one of the keys. And that's exactly what I'm talking about when we're talking about these things on these mysteries of the woman. And the mysteries of the man. There's a lot of this stuff we have to get through. But then again, on the other hand, we can't just stop based on what makes sense physically. That's the first level. There's spiritual aspects. And exactly what I was explaining about different things when you do certain things in your body will make reactions. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Let me show you something right here. I just realized this. I've been showing this for 2 or 3 years. But I know this shit got power. Because the Ethiopians do it, and a lot of Jamaicans do it coming off the island. And a lot of the Caribbean people do it coming off the island when they don't get so sophisticated. It might not be at this level. The Ethiopians do this. Ethiopian, when they do this, they got it to a high-tech level. But like I say, don't frown at something that you don't understand. Look. This is a picture of a woman's foot. This is an Ethiopian woman's foot. Ethiopian women grow their toenails long and they paint them and all this type of stuff. Now, the first level is that is a form of eroticism. It's a form of eroticism. But, okay, yeah, about 5 minutes. But what they're showing here is there's different levels of the length of the toenail, and there's different systems and different things that the body responds to. You see what I'm saying? The Ethiopians do it, and you can see some, and this is eroticism also, and this is some stuff that come all the way back from ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt. So there's several levels of stuff, and although there's a physiological level, there's a metaphysical link on things like this that happen. Now, all you got to do is experiment on it. Well, obviously, this has to be people of royalty, because you can't work and put on regular shoes with your shit like that. But for you women that don't work, try it out, at least this summer. You know, when you can wear the sandals or whatever. I know it's a little colder up here. You see, it's 90 degrees in Atlanta, Georgia, in America. But my point here is, we're trying to show there's several things that might have several spiritual reactions. You see what I'm saying? So my point here, you say, well, how can that be spiritual? But we are now in becoming the gods and the goddesses again. So obviously this might have something to do with the gods and the goddesses, like these goddesses Sekhmet, which is the cat deity. You see what I'm saying? So the cat deity, or the lion, so you grow you some lion claws. And there's all kind of metaphysical things and magical things. You see what I'm saying? Magical things. But the key here is your mind has to be open. And the only reason why you would have something, these are archetypes of stuff that is forgotten. You see what I'm saying? It's just like black people in the ghetto in America wearing the big earrings. And then they got the book Africa Adorned, and Africa Arca. You go to Africa and they got on the big earrings. This is in the genetic memory bank. Nothing is never lost. You see, nothing is never lost. Just trying to show you other aspects of things. What time? How much time we got? Huh? 3 minutes. Let me put this up here, because I want to say this again. I said it yesterday. This is coming from the Zohar. The Zohar is talking about the Moorish destiny. And it says, the beings who live below say that God is on high, while the angels in heaven say that God is on earth. You see. Now this is one that's coming from a book called UFO's Friend of Foe. This is about 10, 15 years old when I did this, so you know how it is. But it says the insectoid powers, this is from a white man. He even came to a UFO convention and they asked him where he got it from and stuff like that. He said that the insectoid powers fears the black races and has kept them subjugated and confused, for they hold the key to knowledge. Their genetic clan information is needed to unlock the advanced secrets of Sirius data, the segmented data that unites, also carried by the Indian clans, such in which originally from the fourth planet from the star system Sirius. So what this stuff is talking about, the genetic clan, they talk about your DNA. And this is written by white folks. And this is what we're talking about this whole time, about this legacy. Go in this Camelot thing when we take the break, after the break. You see what I'm saying? But this is what this is talking about based on this legacy. I want to bring this back up. This is printed in a book called UFO's Friend of Foe. I can't think of the guy's name, but the book is still in print. They got a lot of stuff in this particular book. What's that, brother?
Yeah, because what they do over at the police and so on, right? When they stop a lot of people, they demand their DNA.
Yes, here? Yeah, okay.
And also, the children, they attack our children as well.
Right.
They take their pictures.
Their DNA, they're trying to find this genetic blood strain. You see what I'm saying? But they can't do nothing with it. You see what I'm saying? But nevertheless, they have cited you as the people. You see what I'm saying? In this particular document here, and this guy came to the U.S. They had a black woman in Detroit. Her name was Elaine, put on a UFO conference back in 1994. And she put on the conference just to invite this white man so that he could tell her where he get this information from. You see what I'm saying? And he said a few things to her. He was a little conservative. Not that he didn't want to give it to her because he was a little conservative because he didn't have no backup. Not backup as far as knowledge, but backup based on nobody backing him, or he don't get his ass killed. You see what I'm saying? He didn't have no fruit of Islam or what have you behind him. You see what I'm saying? We gone? That's it?
No, we've got a minute.
Yeah, I got a minute. So I just want to put that to let you know this is all, like I say, is documented in a book called UFOs Friend of Foe, and it's still in print. So you just need to get the book to read just for that paragraph. Some powerful stuff. You see what I'm saying? And just try to study on what that is talking about. You see, y'all all right? Mm-hmm. Am I boring you?
No.
Okay, then. I just want to know now. See, I just want to know. You know, I'm just, it's a whole other game, and all, but, it's all good. Okay. And that's to find out your higher self. Initiation for the heroes, gamblers, that's a sun ritual. The initiation for the beloved, now that's a love ritual there now. Love ritual. I don't know about y'all. Y'all might be in better shape. But the people the sisters in America, black women in America, it's 70% of black women ain't got nobody. You see what I'm saying? Now, if you talk about some genocide, you know what I'm saying? Good thing my queen came because it was so many women, so little time. And she rescued me because I was getting ready to have me a roster, a national registrar. You see, so that's a love ritual. And there's one on healing. There's one on healing. And then there's one talking about totem. That's the animal integration. So you line up with your totem, which is your animal spirit, or the animal that represents your higher self. Now, what you do with this is you basically take the picture, put it on the wall, or this nephilim, get you a red candle, light it, and recite the English version right up under the metanoia, and bam, it's done. And don't think it won't work. It's very powerful stuff, because this deity came and said, this is my ritual. And people in the United States have been buying it since December from me, and they've been having results. So the people who didn't get it, we want to do that. Now, a couple of things I want to deal with right now is we got something called a bomb of Isis. It's a potion from Aset, coming from ancient Egypt, that you mix up. And it's an invocation. When you mix this bomb up, she comes through and she helps you with what you want with healing or what other type of stuff. You see what I'm saying? Or what other types of stuff, you see. Here, and let me get this picture. I showed a little bit of it yesterday. But here's a picture. Let me see what I do. What did I do with my overlays? Here's a picture of King Tut, and some people heard me talking about it. There's a picture of King Tut that they don't show. And they don't show this picture. They don't show this picture because this picture will put you in trance. And it's a picture of King Tut with his real eyes, on how his eyes were made. The Egyptian made his real eyes to see into the future in his burial sarcophagus. And it happens every, they only release it every 10 years and never in color. But it's a picture of King Tut. It's a picture of King Tut with the real eyes. It can do some stuff, and it can also act as a healing system for you. I'll show it when I come back. When I come back, I had it yesterday, and I'll show it when I come back. But you need to get this particular. You need to get this particular picture. We also have one of Anubis, or one of a Black Osiris, and we have one of a Zodiac. We have one that's a Zodiac picture, and whatever your Zodiac is, it will tell you what God lines up under your Zodiac. So what Egyptian god lines up with your zodiac? We have the Nesha that removes obstacles. We have the goddess Lakshmi. I sold a lot of these in the continental United States because it caught on. This is the goddess Lakshmi coming from the Hemmitt Museum. And this particular picture of the goddess Lakshmi, which is the god of wealth and fortune, works. So people was buying this picture and coming down with money. You see what I'm saying? But you got to clean your house up. That might be a task for some of y'all. But you got to clean your house up. You see what I'm saying? That's one of the keys, because she don't fuck around with a nasty house. But this is one that you can see right here. Like this is the big mama Yeminya with the snake for protection. This is the god Shiva, and this right here is the Sri Yantra. If you can see this yantra here is a mandala that lines up the melanin. So what you do is you study this diagram and memorize it to the point where you can memorize it without even looking at the picture, and it lines up the melanin. It's the ultimate feminine symbol. It's called the Sri Yantra, and it's for healing and for a multiplicity of things. And so it's for also prosperity. So this is one too. You say, well, how do you memorize? Well, you know, right now if I ask you how a fucking chicken wing look, you would know. You don't have enough chicken drumsticks to know exactly how a short thigh look, a breast, chicken wing and a drumstick, or a buffalo wing. You would already know. Because you have, so that's the same thing, just apply the same kind of knowledge to that. And stuff like that. So we got these particular pictures. But we also, you can get the whole stack. We're selling the whole thing. So this is about $100 worth of pictures. We're selling the whole thing for how much?
Well, half.
It's half. So it's like $60.
Depends on how, I don't have every one. You know,
Yeah.
some of them kind of ran out. But whatever you do, whatever it adds up.
They 2 pounds.
We'll give you a discount.
It's $5 each in American money. That's 2 pounds 50 each. You can buy them 2 pounds 50 each.
How much are they? How many? 13?
And 2 pounds 50 each.
Well, not quite 13.
Or you can try to get a package, and what you get is what you get for about.
I'll still work it out.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it works something out. So we're going to break for the people that want the pictures, want to get the ritual book, and want to get the third eye ritual.
One question before you see you see the third eye talks about some making some tea and so forth. Is that necessary?
15 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. 15 minutes and then we're right back.
Right. Okay. Those things last 6 hours, so you know, they last 6 hours. So what I'm gonna do is, let me just go through some things, and we're gonna get back into a question and answer, because a lot of people got questions, and you know, my lectures, my minimal time is 6 hours. Then that can go from 7 to 8 hours, so 4 hours is like an hour to me, so I'm going to do some stuff, and then we're going to go into another question and answer. You see what I'm saying? You know, another question and answer. And then, you know, but like I say, you know, this is going to be the new home. I'll be back. It's not like, you know, just a plane ride. But what you do is, we'll put it on the table. Okay, we know that the brother Darrell, see what happens is this, and it happens the same way in the States. The brother will stand up and he'll start bringing in these speakers, and the people will come out and then they will leave, but they never assist him from bringing them back in, and so the burden comes heavy, and then they have to shut down, and then you have to wait another couple of years. So what it is you got the brother Darrell out there, you know he's doing it. Sometimes, you know, you step to the brother and assist him. You get 4 people to break off $100. You see what I'm saying? That's $400. That pay for the plane ticket. You see what I'm saying? And other people. So you got to do things like that and work with these people when they stand up. You see, because what happens here is, it's the same way it happened in the state. We have some people stand up and they might do 2 or 3 years. And then, you know, and it gets overbearing because nobody's actually helping them. And then they leave it, and you got to avoid in between when somebody else got to come along and do it. You see what I'm saying? So this time I'm trying to say to get these speakers coming here and get people, what you want to do is you want to help the brother out. You know, help the brother out. Somebody step to the brother, you know, and say, hey, look, man, you know, here's a, you know, you'll be surprised. You get 2 or 3 people, here's 100 here, 150 here, you see, and that'll help bring in that speaker and stuff like that. You see, and you got other people that can come and all, but they can't do it alone. And too often we have people, they step out there and make the decision they want to help their people bring the speakers through. They're always, the burden fall on them, and the next thing you know, it's too financially challenging. So help the brother out, because he got a beautiful spirit, because it's a spirit thing when people do things. You see, and stand up and do things. So the sister did stuff for I heard, the early part of the 2000s. Now the brother's doing stuff with the sisters of the sister. But sometimes y'all need to get together and help these people out. Now, that's what I'm saying about that is, I've virtually been a poor man in the last 16 years of doing this. Now, if I was doing the research and if I was in the Jewish community, I would have a grant of $100,000 a year just to start off with. And other people help them and stuff like that, because this is research. I'm not trying to say that it was supposed to be that way, but I'm just trying to say how things get done. A lot of people value things a little bit different. You see what I'm saying? You know, and we put things in the wrong thing, don't work. And I'm not talking about here, but in Atlanta, Georgia alone, where I'm from, them Negroes, I think they raised about, they was doing $5 million a Sunday with all the churches when I came 20 years ago. So you say 20 years now, they're doing something like maybe like $40 million a Sunday, these churches is raising. You see, and they put the money in white banks, and on Monday morning, you can't go and get a loan. You see what I'm saying? So they're bloodsuckers. You see, in Atlanta alone, in one 3-mile radius, there's something like 400 churches. There's a church on every corner. You see, and this is the type of stuff that's actually got our people in bondage. But they give money and get nothing in return. And then you have people with this particular science and stuff. It's a labor of love. You know, it's really a labor of love. But it's good now. I wouldn't have it no other way. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that this thing here is something that is a burden to me. I'm just trying to say people like the brother that bring the speakers in. You know, you need to help them out. You see, you need to help them out. I'm established. I'll be on a plane every month doing this stuff around the country or what have you and all, you know. So, you know, but what I want to do is I want to come back because there's so much we need to deal with. You see what I'm saying? You know, so much we don't need to deal with. So I need to not be 6 months in between coming back. You see, maybe 3 months, but we got a lot of information. And not only that, you got a lot of information in your genetic memory bank to give to the people. But I'll come in as a catalyst just to get that up out of you. You see what I'm saying? Because at this particular time, it's the rising of the gods. Now, to piggyback on what I said on the radio is this. The history here is that King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, if you want to familiarize yourself with that, get the movie Excalibur, which is still 1981, which is probably still the best one. Get the movie Excalibur, King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. Get the movie Merlin, 1998 with Sam Neill. And familiarize yourself with the Arthurian mythology or the Grail mythology, because that is stuff that came up out of Egypt or Kemet. King Arthur is nobody but Osiris. Guinevere is Isis. You know, she cheats on him in the King Arthurian mythology, and there's the divine metaphysical reason why Guinevere cheats on King Arthur. It is because a woman is never supposed to be something that's on lockdown. If she's on lockdown, and she's on lockdown, it's usually, and it's not, the story's not really talking about cheating. The story is talking about, a lot of times we use women as lockdown and they're not able to be their creative self. If she's her true creative self, you cannot lock her down. So they're talking about the creativity when they're talking about this Arthur, Guinevere cheating on King Arthur. But Lancelot represents the hero, the hero. And every woman wants to get with the hero. You see what I'm saying? So, so in so many words, these particular stories came out of ancient Egypt. There's a book called Myth and Symbol of, let's see, it's called Myth and Symbol in Ancient Egypt by Rundle and Clark. And in that book, they traced the Arthurian mythology back to Isis and Osiris. So what happened was, how this stuff got up into Europe is the Moors brought these particular stories of King Arthur and Knights of the Round Table. They dropped them off in Ireland, they dropped them off in France, and they dropped them off in parts of all over Europe. And the Britons, wanting to make much more of a royal aspect of their lives, and so a royal aspect of their existence, they copied these stories and tried to make them reality in the British aspect. They have nothing to do with Britain whatsoever, other than the original knights that landed here, which was the Moors. So the word Moor is the black one, the blacker Moor, as they call night, midnight, black. So the knights are the black ones. Now, you get the book, The Sufis, by Idris Shah. Don't ask me how to spell it. The Sufis by Idris Shah. Somebody in here might have heard of that before. They can help you out on that. I think it's I-D-R-E-S-S-H. Just what say it again?
It's I-D-R-I-E-S.
I-D-R-I-E-S. And what's the last one?
S-H-A-H.
S-H-A-A. Yeah, S-H-A-H.
Yeah, we've got one copy.
Yeah, now that book tells you in there that the Knights Templar venerated the goat god that you call the devil. It's actually the Baphomet. You call the Baphomet. They venerated this god in respect for their teachers, the Moors, or the blacker Moors. The goat represents Capricorn. Capricorn is a leader because it's a divine chastiser. You see, there's a book called Capricorn, The New Look at the Old Devil. You still spooked out by some stuff up under the ground. Saturn. It's called Saturn. A New Look at the Old Devil. And the old devil. And in this thing here, they're talking about the Moors. And this was first venerated by the Knights Templars, where their fathers were the Moors. And they said, the Moors venerated the head of the Baphomet as the perfect man, the Moorish man, the blacker Moor. That's in that book, Idris Shah book. Idris Shah and what's the other guy that helped him write that book? Robert, what's that guy's name? He did gods, he did Greek gods. It's coming to me in a minute. Robert Graves. Robert Graves. But anyway, they set up the whole Arthurian thing, and King Arthur is supposed to rule Camelot, and Cam is Egypt. So Camelot means the new lot of Cam, or Kim. New lot of Cam. Egypt. New Egypt. Now, that is documented in a book called People of the Secret by Ernest Scott. Excellent book. People of the Secret by Ernest Scott. It tells you that one of the missions of the Moors was to come up into Europe and screw all the white women to redraft a race that could be a divine race. So what happened was, they said that they had all these mutated strains up here that they say that was basically the Egyptian fault. Because in the Hermetic text, they say our biggest problem, we learned how to make another man. So they was dealing with all kind of gene splicing and stuff like that. Now we got more of that than we do the whole continent, the other part that they call, what they call how the European got here based on the weather and all that. Genetic mutation or climate adaptability. Both of them occurred, climate adaptability, but they did have some genetic engineering going on in Kemet. And they left a lot of those people up in the Caucasus Mountains and stuff like that because that was the incubation. And Diop even talks about it a little bit if you read in his book African Presence in African Origins of Civilization, Myth or Reality, Shaky After Diop. And they left them up in there, and they were supposed to do something with them, and they never got a chance. And so what happened was, when the last priesthood of Egypt, when the Arabs invaded, the last invasion of Egypt, which is now still controlled by the Arabs, These priesthood band together under the name of the Moors, and they took the Islam as not a religious aspect, but a political aspect. Just like you got people that belong to the Democratic Republican Party in America. Well, they could take a religion, because they were masters, and they could go up under the religion as a political movement for conquest. So they banded together under this political movement and went on up into Europe for 700 years. And one of their roles was to clean the Aegean stable, which means that they were supposed to, their job was, there's a tarot card on it, was to go through Europe and screw all the white women to make a mulatto race, make a mulatto race, this is the tarot card, Aleister Crowley's tarot card, the lovers. I don't know, it's very hard to see, but this is a Moorish king, the lovers. This is a Moorish king with a white woman, and the union was a mulatto type race that would try to regraft or gene splice them back into the melanin line. Now the first result of that was the Jews, European Jews, but after the Moors got ousted, they spent the next 500 or 600 years re-whitening themselves again. You see what I'm saying? A lot of this is in the Ernest Scott's book. He'll just say things like the Arabs in Spain. Ernest Scott's book, People of the Secret. You see what I'm saying? And that is the reason why the Jews was thrown out of every country. You see what I'm saying? Because they had a tinge of the Moor. You see what I'm saying? The bastard children of the Moors. You see what I'm saying? So partly, there's a lot of European stuff now, but partly there is some nigger line up in there. You see what I'm saying? You even got that with the Queen Elizabeth in them too, with the Queen Charlotte and all that type of stuff. You see, so everything is not really. See, the racial thing is blurred now. It's blurred now. It's not all black and white. It's grays in there. What that means here is you might have somebody to step to you to help you, and they might be a white person. And based on your training, you might go, I'm not fucking with that white person. But it might be somebody that's got something to do with a genetic link. And when you go through what you have to go through, you get the benefit because the spirit world will send some type of person genetically, you see what I'm saying, to do something for you that normally some black person wouldn't be able to do or be in the position to do. And basically this has been a lot of things that happened in our lifetime. You see what I'm saying? And the reason why I say that, because last summer in Atlanta, every white person met us, bowed down to us, and treated us like royalty. We were like, what the hell is going on? You see what I'm saying? They say, well, you know, they got all kind of, the bloodlines is mixed, there's all kind of stuff that is mixed in, and they have all kind of black people born in their family tree that they constantly is trying to sweep under the rug. You see, they're trying to sweep under the rug. So it's a lot of this, it's not just black and white, there's gray areas in this thing. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not necessarily telling you to go out with a we are the world and all this kind of thing here. I'm just trying to say, when some things come up and you don't understand, remember there's more variations in it on why certain things come up. So now, going back, they envisioned the new lot of Cam. This is the Moorish seals. This is the Moorish seals. These are the Moorish seals. Anytime Europeans say these things mysteriously show up in Europe, that is because they mysteriously showed up in Europe by the Moors, and you don't want to say where it comes from. These Moorish seals later on are called the Greater Keys of Solomon. So you go on the internet and type in Greater Keys of Solomon, or you can go and buy the book Greater Keys of Solomon by McGregor Mathers. But you can go on the internet and download these seals. And these seals got something to do with your bloodline. And they got all kinds of alien-looking writing as well as Hebrew writing. Remember all that stuff, because remember now, they took all kind of texts up into Spain. Hebrew, Arabic, all types of stuff. But they left these Moorish seals behind. And a lot of Europeans use these seals. Now it's called the Greater Key of Solomon. There was no historical Solomon. Solomon is Osiris. You see. These are the sublime mythology historicalized. So these are the seals of Osiris, are the seals of Amen-Ra. You go and look in Budge's Hieroglyphic Dictionary, the word Amen, it says Amen translate into the word the more. Right in Budge's Hieroglyphic Dictionaries. The word more means Amen. And also, but Amen is also a form of Osiris. So the word more also means Osiris or Osar. These are the seals of Osar, Amen-Ra, and Ptah. Ptah Osiris, Pythagoras. You see, the Moors brought these up. So these are the Moorish seals and sigils. So you get a hand to, you download these Greater Key of Solomon. And they got all kind of zodiac things. So you say, if you a Scorpio, you download these Greater Key of Solomon, you cut them out and you put a lamination around a little square. And then put it and wear it in your pocket and see what happens. Or wear it around your chest. But you don't have, you can go buy the book, The Greater Key of Solomon by McGregor Mathers. Or you can go to the internet and download the Greater Key of Solomon and find these seals and find which one is based on your astronomical and astrological configuration. And you cut them out and laminate or make a talisman out of them. And then wear them on your person. And that makes the return of the Moors with those Moorish seals. But they envision a new lot of Cam. Well, if you go to Washington, D.C., clearly Washington, D.C. is the new Egypt. But what we didn't know until now is the other new lot of Cam was what the British knew. The British also had a prophecy that the Camelot would rise up in Britain. Well, that's what they made all the mythology about. You think it is Britain. But what it was, it had nothing to do with Queen Elizabeth and them ass. And here's the prophecy. The new lot of Cam that would rise up in Britain, you the motherfuckers in this room.
That's right.
That is some powerful shit. So what we're dealing with is the return of the new lot of Cam. Now what Queen Elizabeth tried to do was when Princess Diana had Prince William, they were all upset because they were supposed to name him Arthur. And they didn't do it. That was one strike. They didn't never forgive her for that. So when they took her head, that was a part of it also too. Because she destroyed the masquerade. You see what I'm saying? But it wasn't for him to be Arthur. It was for you to be the Knights of the Round Table. The people here in Britain. You see what I'm saying? Which represents a coming together of an amalgamation of indigenous people. You see. From various islands coming to one big island. See what I'm saying? You went from one island to another island. So you went from various islands, which represents the chakras, to one island that represents the pineal gland and the three gates of Zion, the pineal, pituitary, and I think it's the thymus gland. Hypothalamus is one of those. There's those gates in the brain. Which one is it?
The thyroid.
The thymus.
The HT on the cross with the British is the representative.
Is the thymus. So you are here, and you are, and I'm telling you now, I got my passport in 8 days. And I said, wait a minute, now hold on now. The passport office is swamped because they told the people that you can't go to Canada or Mexico now unless you got a passport now. So they lock it down in the United States. So as a result, it's taking months for people to get passports. For me to get it in 8 days, you see what I'm saying? I thought it was going to be at least 15 to 2 weeks and stuff. So when Darryl called, he said, well, you might be able to do something. I didn't know it was going to be 8 days. You see what I'm saying? So the thing here is, I said, wait a minute. There's something going on here. And when we was talking, I said, no, man. I said, this ain't about me coming to do no lecture. I said, this is coming to me to announce the arrival of the new gods of Camelot through the threshold. And that's those million black people in Britain. And then I realized what it is and the reason why they don't show you in the United States. And we only think there's 2 or 3 of you all mixed amongst white people. And the reason why they do that, because they know that the prophecy is, or the Nostradamus prophecy, is that the empires will be turned to black nations. Well, America is not called an empire. Britain is called the British Empire. Now, America is a part of that too, because they saw a land in the future that hadn't been established yet. They said, but all races and all people will come with different types of vehicles to establish this land in the West. And that's America. And they said they would reestablish Mayotte. That's in the Hermetic text. You see what I'm saying? So all of this stuff here, we're still talking about this founding of this newfound nation. This newfound nation. And as a result, that's what this whole meeting is about. Because it's on now. It's on. This 8 year, you got 2 loops. That's infinity. And this thing is going down. It's going down now. But the thing about it here is the people must understand who they are. You see what I'm saying? They must understand who they are. And so it's the same thing that happened with Clarence 13X. Clarence 13X is the founder of the 5% Nation. Elijah Muhammad said one time that he didn't want followers, he wanted gods. And he said that the people who was going to do this were going to be the ones that not yet come in the nation, would be out in the streets. And so they couldn't understand the prophecy. Malcolm X went to Clarence 13X's house to pick him up to go to the mosque. And Clarence 13X and them had women, liquor, and they had a party going on. And Malcolm came and said, "What the hell is this?" He said, "Well, he said, yo, we chilling, man." He said, "What is this? All this drinking and these women and all that?" He said, "Oh, we can do that now because we gods. We don't have to do the other shit no more because we gods." So he had understood what the prophecy was. Is it not written in your law that I say ye are gods and the scriptures cannot be broken? John 10:13, verse 34, 36. You see what I'm saying? And he called them gods. God standing on the congregation of the mighty. Psalms 82. And he talks to the gods or something like that. Psalms 86. So he understood what was going on. But John, John 10, what is it? John 10? 34, 36. And he called them gods in which the scriptures cannot be broken. So Clarence 13X said, we gods now. And so Malcolm went and got him thrown out of the nation. And all. But why they killed Clarence 13X, and Clarence 13X started dealing with the numbers. He took the lessons from the Nation of Islam, and he took the lessons and the numerical value, and he went and started using the Zohar and the Kabbalah. And that's when the Jews took him out. When he started going into the Kabbalah. They said, now you really gods is going on now. And you start getting back into your ancient works. So that's what we're talking about here. But in the concept here, what we're talking about, this elevation of consciousness, is you got to come out of these groups. You can't have no pinhead leader over you. That's your problem. That's your problem. Right now, if your mama came in your house and told you to take your ass to bed, and you 40 and 50 years old, you would have a problem with that. Well, why in the devil you got some leader over you? The time, why you think, look, in America, in 1 year radius, they killed Khalid Muhammad, they arrested H. Rap Brown, and they arrested Dr. York. You see what I'm saying? Why did all that happen? And Farrakhan damn near retired. Because the time for leadership is over. You're supposed to be coming to gods now. You don't supposed to be following nobody. You see what I'm saying? You see, you don't supposed to be following nobody. And that's what the spirit world is trying to tell you. It's time for you to raise up and be your own self. And the only way you can get to your soul and your higher self is through you, not no other handkerchief head nigga telling you to pay your dues. And treating you like a child, telling you, brother, you can't do this and you can't do that. You can't eat this and you can't eat that. See what I'm saying? Every now and then you want to heal yourself. Your soul might tell you, look, I want some ice cream and cake. And if you don't get it, the cancer might metastasize. Because you didn't give the soul what the soul wanted. See what I'm saying? That's the way the spirit world works. You see, that's the way the spirit world works. So we're going to go into a question and answer because there's never enough time We're going to go into a question and answer. And so tomorrow we can come back and we can start some magical things. But it's going to be magic and still lecturing. So don't get me wrong. Now we're going to be still dealing with several things, with several things. And so there's going to be commentary. So don't think tomorrow is just a workshop. No, we still have to have a lot of instruction on a lot of things. So right now we're going to go into a question and answer right quick. What's that, brother?
Okay, see, British is apparently supposed to mean male covenant. And Elizabeth being the house of God. That connected to, and I wanted to ask about the magic of metal that you were supposed to break down yesterday, and explosion of the DNA.
What now? What
all right, how'd that go?
Slow down. What you said now?
All right, British, yeah, is supposed to mean male covenant, yeah?
Male what?
Male covenant.
Uh-huh.
So, what you're saying is that the covenant is made, the male covenant, the covenant is between us. That's why it's called British.
Yeah, the Ark of the Covenant is between you.
Yeah?
The Ark of the Covenant is nothing but the pineal gland. And the healing in the wings. So all of that basically what you're saying, all of that you can.
Why they call it Britain, why they call this British, the names.
Yeah, I understand what I'm trying to say. You can break down every little minute detail and it all will come up to the same thing. You see what I'm saying? But we don't even have to even look to the tradition of this thing to just say, bunch of niggas in a room is great. Drawing heat. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? You see? So, in a way, you give me a question. What's that?
Lots of different people have different views as to whether women should menstruate or not. So I just wanted to ask you what you think.
For what I studied, it didn't interested in most people that came before you told me that shit was males. I got a fucking problem with that shit. Allied Africa was the first one to raise that bullshit up. Look. In Valentine, always these fucking males come with that bullshit. I do my own damn studying. And I don't know a time in ancient Egyptian in a time where they said about the Smen rites. Everything was always based on a 28-day cycle and the woman's menstrual and the different things like that. 5 minutes. And also, based on my study, there's always been that particular aspect because that is a high form of melanin, a high potency of melanin. There's a book called Dragon Time. Dragon Time. And in that book talks about, it breaks down what the mood swings is. The mood swings when a woman is on her menstrual cycle is you have serotonin in the daytime and melatonin at night. But when you're on the menstrual cycle, all these hormones are coursing through the body at the same time. So 1 minute you got a melatonin, a sleep hormone, and it's 12 o'clock in the daytime. You see what I'm saying? And then you might have a day hormone at night. And so it's showing that that's some very powerful thing. Do you know, I'm going to tell you something. Do you know, this is one of the great mysteries. The OTO and Crawley and them know about this. That you can heal just about everything on this planet through menstrual blood. It's just that powerful. You can heal cancers, you can bring a nigga back to life. Menstrual blood. Now I know, so my point here is this. The wounded wound, the concept comes from a book called The Wise Wound by Peter Redgrove and Penelope Shuttle. They'll put it in print maybe 10 years and they'll take it out of print 10 years. The Wise Wound. But every book deals with that. Peter Redgrove wrote another book they won't put back in print. It costs about $90 on the internet, $100. It's called The Black Goddess and the Unseen Real. Major work. Black Goddess and the Unseen Real. Only thing that the ancients said is you have to be careful when a woman is on her dragon time because it's such a powerful time that she cooks and her mind ain't calm, she can end up killing the nigga because that's how powerful her shit is. So they would rather her not mess around cooking when she was on her menses because the simple fact that's a powerful time for the goddess. You see, that's a powerful time for the goddess. But everything that I have studied, and that's the thing about me, see, the thing about me is this here. I'm the bibliography man. Now, if you notice, if you get my tapes, you can take a pencil and a piece of paper and go down those tapes for years and get hundreds of books. All the people come here, they won't give you no bibliography. Won't give you shit. We make these claims, but I'm trying to be fair about this thing. And I'm trying to tell you I've studied nothing in my studies and in my research and what the spirit world says. There's always been a time, and all this shit about to die, he called another fucking man talking this shit. I got a sister-in-law and a brother. They are breatharians. They don't eat nothing. They are insane with this shit. She bleeds like a nigga. She bleeds, she never could get rid of that. So that's all, see, that's that male shit talking again. You see what I'm saying? That's that male shit talking. And most of the stuff when they talk about this, these are the men, oh, if you get the diet right, you would be, that's bullshit. I'm telling you, I got a sister-in-law that don't eat nothing. They don't, we still, it's a mystery on what these motherfuckers eat. And she still have a menstrual cycle, and her diet is one of the best in the continental United States.